45 DDR-Bürger werden allein in Ost-Berlin an diesem Abend festgenommen. Polizei und Stasi greifen rücksichtslos durch. Es gibt zahlreiche Verletzte. Doch zum äußersten Mittel, dem Einsatz von Schusswaffen.
Übergang in U-Bahn-Linien 3, 9 und 7 Regionalverkehr.
to a train to where we get park in Berlin. If you want to see some nature, it's good to go there.
There are only 4 entries to the shelter. And that means if we have 5,000 people in a panic in the street, the sirens are going off, they all want to go into the shelter as quickly as possible, it would probably have been a disaster. So people would have to queue to get into the shelter. So let's say the sirens go off, we have 5,000 people in the street and they all run to this entry, then we have a problem here, obviously, right? You get 80, 90 people into the stairway and then it's basically full. So that would have been a problem. Old people, children, weak people would have had a problem and probably been squashed in the stairway, or they would just have gone flying over the railings. And then people would only have been allowed into the shelter in small groups, so that you don't lose count, so that you always know how many people you have in the shelter. So that would have taken some time. Then the shelter is only safe. You see, we're only 2 floors down, that's maybe 8 meters, and that means the nuclear bomb would have to explode 2 kilometers away, because the shockwave travels 2.5 kilometers. And if the shockwave hits the car park will probably collapse. And then you cannot get out of the shelter anymore, or the shelter will collapse as well. But you can only survive for 2 weeks at least. After 2 weeks, there's no more drinking water, no more electricity, and no more air. The air filters don't work. So after 2 weeks you have to leave. If you have the car park lying on top of the shelter, then you cannot get out anymore. So it's a very vulnerable, very risky. Also the air supply for the shelter, we'll see that later on. The air supply runs in the walls. So if the walls collapse, and it goes up to the top floor. So if the walls collapse, if one wall collapses, you probably have no more air in the shelter. And then you have to evacuate. And if you have the car park lying on top of it, then you cannot evacuate. So it's a risky building. So if you can only survive for 2 weeks, you have a very vulnerable building, and people would have to queue to get in. So everything would have taken quite a while. If you hear the sirens, you probably only have 5 minutes. You'll never get everybody in here in 5 minutes. We're a small group now, we're 8, 9, 10 people. You would let in 20, 25 into the shelter at a time. Then the big door closes, right, the squashing door closes, and then people are, first of all, counted in here. Before entries, you need to know how many people you have in the shelter because you only have 3,600 beds. You cannot let in 5,000 people by accident. The last floor of this car park would have been transformed into a nuclear shelter, which means basically cars out, beds in, washer, everything you need to survive in a shelter, would have to be brought in.